Good morning, second grade, and welcome to Language Arts class again. We have lesson 10 today, and it is about a quiz. We'll have a quiz today, so we'll get you ready for a quiz. So let's do some review here. We have capitalization chart again they want us to look at this morning. So let's just review this. So rule 1 is capitalize the first word of a sentence. Number 2 is capitalize names of people and pets. Number 3, capitalize important words in titles, like every title of a book gets capitalized. Every word in the title except the small, tiny words, but for sure the first and last word always get capitalized in a title. Number 4 is capitalize the word I, so whenever you have a sentence with I, you will capitalize the word I in the sentence. Number 5 is capitalize names for God. So names for God always get capitalized, like Jesus and Christ and Lord and all those words that get capitalized. Number 6, capitalize naming nouns. So whenever you have a naming noun, which a naming noun can name people and places, it can name buildings, it can name like certain buildings, it can, so like pets and people, those are naming nouns. Number 7, capitalize the name of a city and state or a city and province. So whenever you have a city and state like Indianapolis, Indiana, you will need to capitalize the city and the state. Number 8, capitalize each word in an address. So if you have an address, you will capitalize each word in the address. Number 9, capitalize abbreviations of states and provinces. So this is talking about abbreviations now. If you have an abbreviation, like for Indiana, it's IN, you would capitalize the I and the N. And 10, capitalize months of the year. So months of the year, like January, April, always the months of the year get capitalized. Number 11, capitalize days of the week and abbreviations for days of the week. So days of the week like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all the days of the week get capitalized. And also if you have abbreviations like SUN for Sunday, that will also get capitalized. Number 12, capitalize abbreviations for names of the months. And capitalize titles of respect, so like Doctor and Mr. and Mrs., those get capitalized. Capitalize initials, so initials are your letters of your name. Initials always get capitalized, and also they get a period after each initial. And then we have 16, capitalized titles of stories. So whenever you have a title of a story, you will always capitalize it. Capitalize the greeting, closing, and signature in a friendly letter. So whenever you have a greeting, like dear someone, you will always capitalize that. Whenever you have a closing, you will capitalize the first word of the closing, and the signature, of course, is the name, so that always gets capitalized. And then you will also capitalize names of holidays. So don't forget the holidays. Holidays are like Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's, Mother's Day. And 19 is capitalize names of countries. So names of countries, you still remember countries? Like we live in the country of United States. So we would capitalize the U and the S in United States. And also like India and Spain and England and France and Switzerland. Those are all countries, so you will need to capitalize them. Okay, let's think about compound sentences now. So compound sentences are two sentences put together into one. We have, first of all, let's think of quotations. Quotations are the exact words of the speaker, and they always have quotation marks around them. So whenever you have a quotation, you will need to put quotation marks around it. And let's look over here. We have an example on the board here. The first sentence says, Zach said, I will go to Taylor's house tomorrow. So that is a quotation in there, and we need to put quotation marks around the exact words that Zach said. So, I will go to Taylor's house tomorrow is the exact words that Zach would have said. So you would put quotation marks around it. Okay, now back to our thought of compound sentences. Compound sentences are two sentences that are in one sentence, and they get a certain punctuation mark inside the sentence, which is a comma. So let's look here at the next two sentences. The first one says, Henry fed the dog and cat. And the next one says, Henry fed the dog and Lucy fed the cat. So which one do you think is a compound sentence? Remember, compound sentences are two sentences joined together into one. This sentence has the word and in, so we can't really look for like little words like and, but, and or, because yes, those words are in compound sentences. They're two sentences joined together with those words, but we can't just look for those words because this sentence also has that word in. We need to look at the words before and after the little words and make sure that it's two sentences, like a sentence before that word and a sentence after it. So cat, would cat, just cat, be a sentence? It would not be, so this is not a compound sentence. So we would say that this is a compound sentence because Henry fed the dog is a complete sentence and Lucy fed the cat is a complete sentence, right? So that is a compound sentence, and they have a comma here just before the little word. So don't forget your comma in your compound sentence. Okay, let's review this rule here. It's for sometimes E in words it's spelled in different ways. Sometimes it looks almost like it could be I because you spell it with I-E, but there is a rule that we can remember so that when we are spelling those words like chief and field, that we use I before E. So let's read this rule together. It says, use I before E except after C or when sounded like A, as in neighbor and way. So whenever you have the E sound, you will use I before E, like chief, word chief, except right after C, as in ceiling. So you have a C word. Or when sounded like A, as in neighbor and way. So like, this is different ways that we put an E in the word. And so if you have neighbor and way, it doesn't sound like E, but it sounds like A, but we still use the EI to spell it, or as in the word eight. So let's just say this little rhyme together again. It says, use I before E, except after C, or when sounded like A, as in neighbor and way. Okay, and your spelling words this week kind of follow that rule, so yeah, that makes kind of sense if you look at your words and your spelling. Okay, let's now think of introducing people to each other. We had about this yesterday. And to introduce, do you remember what introduce means? To introduce means to tell who someone is. Like if there is let's say there's a 7-year-old girl you're introducing to your mother. Do you know whose name you would say first? You would say your mother's name first. If you have a boy and a girl, you say the girl's name first. If you have a friend to your teacher, you say your teacher's name first. If you have your grandmother to your friend, you say your grandmother first. It's showing respect to people older than us by saying their name first. Okay, and then we have penmanship, and they tell me to show you how to write the A and the J and the O today. So let's just practice that here. The A is going like this. And the J goes like this. And the O goes like this. Okay, and you will also have some words to spell today in your quiz. Words. I think they start with an A and a J and an O. I'll check just to be sure. So actually you will have the O and the J. No, you will have the O and the A today in your quiz. Hang on, I'm in the wrong lesson. Okay, you will have words. Yeah, I thought so. You will have 3 words today. So, and the words start with A and J and O. So that's why they got us to spell them on the board. And you probably remember them from time before because we've had them often before already. And so, okay, also remember to study correctly for your quiz before you do your quiz. Use your checklist to review for quiz 2. Know the meanings of all the study words in section 1 and section 2. And know the meanings or review the we remembers in sections 1 and 2. So look over the we remembers in sections 1 and 2 and make sure that you understand all the parts in there. And then also you can know your spelling words from section 2. I have it as optional, but it really does help you in 3rd grade if you take time to spell now in 2nd grade. And so I'll send your mom a text with the words. So whenever you feel ready, I would study the words first before you take the test, and whenever you feel ready, you can take your test. And yes, I'd like to say thank you to the ones that are keeping on with the test. Thank you very much for that. It makes you smarter for 3rd grade if you keep on with your words. So, okay, I'm going to let you work at your quiz now and study for it and do a real careful job. Remember to check over it when you're finished, that you didn't skip any parts or any boxes. And yeah, you have a good day.